How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to O2 Productions. This is another episode of One Take, and today we are talking about movies that have a lot of potential but didn't quite hit the mark in terms of tone. Specifically, tone, not genre, not story, but just the overall feel of the movie and what that entails. We're not going to do the timer today. We're just going to jump right into our each of our individual choices, and if we have time, we're also going to talk about movies that we think really nail their tone and perform that perfectly. So, the movie that I would like to bring forward here, that I believe if it had just a slightly different tone and if it had switched things up a little bit from what
Yeah.
it ended up being, I think it would have been honestly a pretty fantastic movie. Is Click, the Adam
Hmm.
Sandler comedy,
Interesting.
I believe
Okay.
2006. I'm not sure the
Something
exact
like
year.
that. Yeah.
2000s comedy. I think the premise is really cool. It's really fun. It
Hmm.
it sort of works with the typical like Adam Sandler comedy stuff. And I think the
Right.
movie the movie should have some of that, but in my opinion, where the tone misses is it takes it way too far. I think
Okay.
it wanted to be a super gratuitous, super over the top Adam Sandler comedy, whereas
Mm.
I feel like if it played the more dramatic side all the way throughout, and had a bit of a darker tone. I'm not saying
Mm.
it had to be dark, but just darker than what it came out to be. Because what it is,
Sure.
I think the dramatic side of things is really interesting and fun, but the movie feels like it feels forced to be an Adam
Mm.
Sandler comedy. So
Okay.
there's just moments that don't fit to me where they're just not funny because they just get so ridiculous that
Mm.
undercuts a bit of the drama and the tension. And a lot of the comedy just doesn't work because it's just too over the top. It's too ridiculous for me. I still think it's a decent movie as it is, but I think there's actually potential for a really, really good movie if it didn't feel the need to have to be what it
Right.
is.
No, yeah, that's a good pick. I It has been a very long time since I've seen that movie, so I can't really give you any kind
Yeah.
of feedback into that. But from the very little I remember it being okay.
Mm.
Nothing great. But yeah, for my movie that I think fell short of glory is The House with a Clock in Its Wall.
Hmm.
So it's a 2018 movie with Jack Black, Kate Blanchett. It's actually a children's book adaptation, which kind of um, highlighted why I think it kind of fell short. So I think that it should have went for more a more dramatized and horror elementic story compared to what it was. But because it's based upon a children's book, obviously there was some restrictions. But if somebody was to like readapt it, I would lean more into again going for it into horror elements because throughout the movie there was like really good effects and even some of the horror elements that were in it I thought were pretty good. But like if because the movie was a PG movie. If they just made it like a PG-13 or an R-rated movie and were able to have, I guess, less restrictions and creative freedom into making it more of a better um, story and visually appealing to that kind of audience, I think it could have been like a really, really good movie. Story wise, I think it was just kind of fine. Nobody really stood out to me besides Kate Blanchett. I think she played her character pretty well. Jack Black was good. He was fine. Um, would I replace any of the actors or actresses in it? Maybe. But again, just I think they should have just maybe do like a reboot
Mm.
with a different kind of again aspect to it and actually go for it.
So, A House with a Clock in Its Walls,
Yeah.
honestly, the tone, I don't mind the tone necessarily. I think it's kind of a
Mm.
cool premise to fit under like being a
Oh yeah.
PG kind of entry level,
Hmm.
just horror adjacent movie.
Hmm.
That being said, I would be curious to see what a more horror heavy film would be with that same plot.
Right.
I think my biggest issues are the plot and the characters
Hmm.
overall. Still, it's an okay movie. It's an
It's
okay watch.
fine. It's
I
okay.
can,
Yeah.
and it's one of those where I could totally see some kids who maybe grow up with it who
Mm.
could actually have like a good amount of nostalgia for it because there's a good amount of magic I feel like in that movie
There
where it's
is.
like
Yeah.
like you said with the effects and
Hmm.
just the overall vibe of the movie is pretty
It's
fun.
fun. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a fun. It's fun.
but for
But
me at my current state,
yeah.
not definitely not really a movie for me. But yeah, that's a good
Sure.
pick.
Yeah. Another thing I'll say about it, real quick is as far as like reviews that it got, I saw that it had mixed reviews saying that some of the elements actually were they thought were a little too extreme
Hmm.
for kids, and all others saying, "Oh, this was a good introduction of what you just said." Um, so that kind of backs my point of like, oh, if they're having these mixed reviews of, oh, this is too scary, why not just go for it and make it a PG-13 movie, and then maybe have like a TV show be the kids thing, you know?
Okay, maybe. Well, maybe that means they should have taken it easier. I don't know. I mean, it depends how you look at it. I don't.
Sure.
Maybe I could see it. I can maybe think of a couple points that maybe go a little far, but honestly, I
Mm.
don't know if I'd agree with those people, but who am I to say? Um, but
Sure.
yeah, that's a good choice. It's a good choice.
So yeah, we're just gonna move into our pick for a movie we think totally well did very well, nailing the tone. And my pick is actually one that I saw not too long ago. It's this year. Perfect Blue.
Oh, that one crossed my
Perfect Blue.
mind. That's a great
Yeah.
pick. That's a really good
I
pick.
I was debating between this movie and another movie, of which I will save for later because we'll probably mention it.
Great movie. Perfect Blue. Incredible, incredible
It's
film.
so good. So I am usually typically mostly not a fan of anime, so I was very hesitant to watch this movie in general. But after watching it, I was like, wow, holy cow, this is like probably one of if not the best psychological thrillers I've ever seen. Because like throughout the story, you're constantly being like, whoa, what is happening? What is this? Who is this? All that, and the fact that well, if you haven't seen it, I'm going to spoil it because you've had time to see it. The fact that the main character that she kind of plays leaves her music girl group to go play a role in like a murder mystery thriller TV show, it kind of messes with your brain to depict what's actually happening and what's not happening. And then the fact that we have to um, see the dynamic between her like hallucinations and all that stuff and reality, all the stuff happening, it leaves you knowing what actually happened, but it also leaves you thinking of like, whoa, what did I just watch? That was like a total mind bending movie.
Yeah,
I just feel like they hit every nail in the psychological thriller aspect, and I would highly recommend that movie to anybody.
totally. And I would second that. That's a great
Yeah.
movie. And yeah, from the very beginning, you already kind of get thrown
Hmm.
into the whole world that you're in, that you're about to enter. And
Yeah.
yeah, it really, and it kind of develops over time, but you still, it
Hmm.
leads you perfectly into that feeling of confusion, but also
It does.
intrigue of, what exactly is going on and things like that. So, yeah,
Yeah, like step by step, everything they did, it was so perfectly well paced and executed.
yeah, and it keeps you guessing and it keeps you paying attention. That's for sure too. So,
Yeah, I
really
was
cool.
fully invested.
Yeah,
Yeah.
really cool movie. That's a good one.
Hmm.
So for me, this one
Yes.
is very difficult. I think a lot of really good movies nail their tone, But if I had to single one out, I think I would just go with one of my all-time favorites and a lot of people's
Hmm.
favorites, Back to the Future. I think
Oh, okay.
I think just
Interesting.
from the very opening with the clocks,
Mm,
like it kind of gives you the vibe of the eccentricity. Is
yeah,
that how you pronounce that? I don't know.
sure.
Of the
Yeah.
whole situation, it's like, why is there this room with all these clocks?
Hmm.
It gets you into um, the fact that it's like this long, drawn out take gives you an idea of, okay, we're gonna that a lot of that movie has very long shots where you got to pay
Mm,
attention to what's going on. The camera kind of
yeah.
sweeps around and stuff like that, so it introduces you to that, and then it then follows that up with us meeting Marty McFly, who is our
Yeah.
main character. Okay, we're dealing with a kid, we're dealing with a high schooler, and then he hooks up his guitar to this giant speaker, and again, it's like this weird thing. So you start
Yeah.
you start to get a little bit into the sort of like, oh, how does he have all this stuff, things like that. He
Right.
ends up being late for school. So from the very beginning, you kind of get this, intrigue that gets kicked in, and throughout the movie, they always have that that feeling that everybody loves from those movies, the Back to the Future
Right.
movies, of that
Hmm.
blockbuster, like the sci-fi, the comedy, the drama, all that stuff, really hitting the high school beats where a
Mm.
lot. I think that movie really does feel like a high school movie for a lot of it. And then it
Yeah,
gets
for
into
the
the
most
time
part,
travel
yeah.
stuff. And if you
Hmm.
think about it too, there's some really, really weird and crazy things that happen in that movie that
There
it is
is.
still able to work around and make it not
Oh yeah.
feel too dark or too bizarre
Hmm.
beyond what the movie is. Like you have, I forget whoever the foreign guys that
Uh,
Doc Brown stole the plutonium
yeah,
from,
yeah.
like
Uh-huh.
they get attacked by some foreign like Middle
Huh.
Eastern guys.
Right.
Um, Marty McFly, his mom has a crush on him, so there's some like
Hmm.
incestual stuff going on. I don't know if I could say that on YouTube. I'm gonna have to check that. Um,
Sure.
and his
Yeah.
mom almost gets SA'd by Biff.
Biff. Yeah.
Like you have some really weird stuff, but in my
Sure.
opinion, like the fact that you can have crazy stuff like that happen in the movie, yet it's a
And
movie
make it
that
make sense.
is so
Yeah.
universally adored and still fits with
Hmm.
the tone of also, oh, by the way, this is a time travel movie. Oh, by the way, oh,
Yeah.
also, one more thing. Marty
Sure.
almost disappears from existence, which is like the core
Hmm.
plot of the movie. So like that's another crazy thing.
Yeah.
So the fact that they're able to bring all that together and set it all up from the beginning and have all the setups and payoffs that that movie is known for is just so incredible. So I felt like I had to choose it for
Yeah.
my movie that really nails its tone because it can handle so
Yeah.
many possibly darker things, possibly really light things with some of the comedy, and mesh all that together really well.
Mm.
So there you go.
Oh
Back to the
yeah.
Future.
That was one that was up for
I thought you
my
might pick
pick
it. I
too.
Yeah.
I was really debating it, but I felt like that
No, your pick
uh
was great though. Yeah, your pick was great.
yeah.
Well, the thing is, I was trying to decide between like, do I take a movie that has a very specific, like, narrow tone and just nails it
Mm.
through like the entire story, which I think
That's
perfect.
kind of what I went
Yeah, I
for.
think that's what
Yeah.
Perfect Blue more so is. And then
Yeah.
I was between that and like Back to the Future, where it's like,
Mm.
okay, they do a lot of different things in the movie, but they still are able to
Right.
stay within like a pretty
Oh
wide
yeah.
range, but like a
Yeah,
pretty
no.
set tone at the same
Hmm.
time. So that's what I went for. So I kind of like that we each kind of hit both of those
Yeah. And
unintentionally.
I think Back to the Future is a 10 out of 10 movie too. So I
Well,
very
that
much
that
respect
helps
that.
too. That's the
So
thing. For me, I'd typically just go
yeah,
towards my favorite movies for ones that nail the tone because I enjoy them
sure.
so much. So,
Yeah.
yeah, there you go.
Thanks again. And hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like and subscribe. And if you guys even if you guys have any suggestions of which you would like us to uh, talk about, leave them in the comments and we'll give it a look.
Absolutely. Thank you guys.